I'm Richard Crump, I'm the Deputy Editor of Accountancy Age, and welcome to our latest edition of Friday Afternoon Live. Sadly, we're not in the comedy store today, so regular viewers will notice the absence of Eddie Izzard looming over my shoulder. So today we're going to do it in Incisive Towers. So yeah, we're going to be looking at three things today. We're looking at Baker Tilly rebranding as RSM as part of a big shake-up at its network. We're going to look at HSBC reviewing where its domicile will be, and also whether HMRC should be subject to an independent review. I think really though the big practice announcement this week clearly is that all RSM member firms, or member firms of RSM International, will be renamed RSM. Now that's a significant development for Baker Tilly in the UK, and particularly McGladrys, who are their US member firm, and both are established brands in their own right and of considerable size in their domestic markets, particularly in the case of McGladrys, which is comparable in size to the big four in the UK. Does it make sense for the firms to change their names? Well, domestically it could feel a wrench to lose such established names and brands, but really the client bases of a lot of firms have become more global, and it makes sense for any network and their firms to present one face to the market and show the market how connected it is. Just think about all the other large international networks, the big four, GT, BDO, they all have one brand name, and it is sort of a common thing now. And also for Baker Tilly, the firm in the UK, to hold the same name as Baker Tilly International, the network, was an untenable position for all of the parties involved, and this resolution really is a good move. Nevertheless, it will be a significant undertaking for all the firms who will have to bear the costs of signage change and the rebranding themselves. Now, moving on to the corporate world, it emerged this week that HSBC is going to conduct a review of its potential headquarters, looking at criteria including the tax environment, the government's attitude to finance, and the stability of the economy and regulatory systems. Now, this raises the questions over the bank levy and whether George Osborne in the budget will really look to kind of water this down, make it less onerous on banks. With HSBC flexing its domicile muscles, there has been a bit of a reaction. There were people considering, has bank bashing gone too far? Now, interestingly, one of HSBC's most stern critics over its tax affairs was Margaret Hodge, the former chair of the Public Accounts Committee. Now, I met Margaret earlier this week, and interestingly, she actually said that HSBC should certainly stay in the UK on the basis that it behaves itself and conducts business in the right way. And also, Margaret also has some interesting views on HMRC. Now, some people have been calling for a review into the tax man. It's been 10 years since Inland Revenue and Customs and Excise merged to create him. At Accountancy Age, we've been looking at, has it been a success? Now, writing for us, Paul Aplin, who's chair of the ICAW's Tax Faculty Technical Committee, he wrote in our pages that really there should be an independent review of HMRC's resources, powers, culture, governance and modus operandi. But I think a lot of the issues, and according to Margaret Hodge as well, comes down to the fact that it needs to be better and properly resourced. Even our readers, we conducted a poll of Accountancy Age readers who found that really HMRC has been hamstrung by its funding, and when without better resource, any reforms and its ability to deliver some of the key changes that are happening, whether that's digital tax accounts, its new greater powers, will be hard to achieve without greater funds. So I hope those three things have given you some food for thought to consider this afternoon. Obviously, we're always keen to hear your views, so please comment or get in touch with the editorial team if you have anything to say. So I look forward to hopefully seeing you next week. I imagine Kevin Reid will be back in the chair. So thanks a lot for watching. I've been Richard Crump, and we'll see you next Friday. Cheers.